guys, welcome back to another video on Lousy Gamer. So today I wanted to do this video to explain what's really happening. I mean, I don't really know a lot of details in there. I just get information from a lot of people, and I'm trying to provide the details here. Before I go into the topic today, I would really like to thank you all for watching my videos, sharing it with your friends, and also subscribing to my videos. And I got a lot of messages online, so that's really awesome. I never got so many messages, and really thank you for sending me some positive messages online. So that keeps me going. And so whenever I find some time in the evening, now I'm doing videos. So thanks for making me a bit popular in the Empire Sea circles. So all credit to you. So without any further talking about me and my channel, I'm going to jump into the topic today. So what are these two groups, right? Who are they? How did they kind of end up with being the rivals? I don't really have a lot of information on that. I'm probably, you guys might have more information you can share. But what happened right now is there are two big groups that will be fighting against each other once we have the region merge. So what are those? So one would be the SLC. It's called the sleeper cell, I think, and the other one is RW, the road warrior. So you'll also hear, if when you're talking about road warriors, you'll also hear about EOD or SIC. So these people are all the same as RW, and this is all SLC. So this is just, I'm going to color this in a different colors just to keep it a bit separate. Okay, so what well, I mean, just to uh, think about this, right? So how did they end up like this? And I don't have the information on that, but uh, what we all know is these two groups are really strong, and I'm not really going to talk about the negatives or anything which I don't know, and I don't want to really do that with these big groups, right? So these two groups are really strong. I mean, I'm talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of power. So I think by now you guys would have actually joined, right? So in today's topic, I'm also going to cover for people who are still on the fence. What do you guys want to do? It's not a recommendation or advice. It's just more on how we should be thinking, and then before we decide. So that's all I'm trying to do here. So I'm just talking my mind loud, and then if those thoughts would influence you to make some decisions, you can do that. So SLC and RW. So these are the two big group of alliances. They are together, and within SLC and RW, there are some alliances. Those are bigger than the entire region. So that's how big they are. So both are equally good, strong. That's what I heard. And just to give you a sense on the screenshots, I got these screenshots from some of the friends, and I got the permissions to show it on the channel. So these are the type of attacks that you will have to be expecting once the region merge happens. As you can see here, so this is from Road Warriors, RW obviously. So the march size is so big, like 2.1. So obviously they use 2 wars and stuff. So to get the max number of troops sent in one march. And you can also see that this guy was caught when his leader was out. So you can see that he lost about 8.9 million in troops, and then just 367 is the hospital capacity. But when your leaders are out, say again, when the hives gets bigger, and then you are an attacking player, and then you go out, and then you send a longer march with all the leaders out. And this is what's going to happen when you get encounter with one of these two bigger groups, right? So, and you can actually see the one that they've sent is about all panzers. So all these guys have advanced troops. So if you're not upping your game in advance, this is your time. So you got to keep it up. You know, you need to do complete all the research and start to build slowly your advanced troops. Every day build about 10,000, 5,000, whatever is the limit that you can build. Keep building it, keep building it. uh, and uh, and we can actually see how much of those they have killed, and mostly what they have actually killed in here. So all they used is, if you look at this, the total used, even they have about panzers, most of them, and then you can actually see that they have advanced troop, and then they have the T4 regular troops. Mostly what they had is T4s, elites, and then the T4 advanced troops. Uh, and this kind of damage is happening to T4s. That's the point here. So these are the ones that died, right? So you can actually see 33,000 panzers dead. Here, 1.6 million zombie doses are gone. And you can see that elites, the weakest of all, 3 mil is gone. Sorry, 2 mil is gone straight away. Commandos, 3.9 is gone. Um, so obviously the vehicles against the infantry is going to be weak. So one saving grace is the pierces. As you can see, that's what you're going to build. Everybody's using panzers. Please get your PS's number up. So as long as you have millions of PS, I know it's a lot of money, but if you want to survive in a very, very, very hostile environment, if you think that your region had war at 1 to 10 scale, you scale it at 10, it'll be 100. So that's, I'm not exaggerating here, because you have two bigger alliances getting together, or groups getting together. So pierces are your game, because everybody's using panzers. So if you want to be so defensive, go ahead and build these panzers. And also wanted to see the T4 regular bombers. Don't see it in here. Yeah, so T4 advanced will also die, as you can see, not as much as what T4 regular actually did. You can see 3.9 million commandos. So um, so focus on your demolition troops, and that should be good. And make sure you don't get caught when your leaders are out. So if you do that, and then if you have only about 9 to 10 million of troops dead, man, you're kind of dead within 2 hits. So just wanted to show that, to kind of get a glimpse of what's up for us when the region opens. So SLC or RW, right? So if um, I'm pretty sure you would have joined any of these two groups. If you haven't joined, you should seriously think about joining one of these groups, because you don't want to be alone, left alone, and both these two teams are going to hit you. So that's not really good in the way that we do things, right? I mean, you think about it. You are alone, and you don't have any leeway between these two alliances, and then all these group of alliances would actually jump onto you, and then you will be farmed 24/7. So if you haven't joined, please do so. That's my recommendation, or at least think about it. And I know a lot of people have joined either one of these groups. So what's really going to happen, right? I mean, just let's think about it, right? Definitely there's going to be a lot of plus points, because these two people know how they are playing the game, as you saw the reports. And I also saw briefly in one of the videos, one of the SLC's reports also had like millions of troops being destroyed. So they're also equally strong. So just that I don't have the screenshot doesn't mean that RW is the biggest, or vice versa. So they both are equally strong. So if you have already joined, I mean, the best part is that you will be part of the bigger group. So you will have a most organized group, and you will start to have the knowledge being shared by the bigger teams to you. So you will have a lot of understanding on how this game works, and how you want to bring your account, where you want to put your account in the three regions. All these questions will be answered very fast by the bigger team. So when they recruit people, and then when the region opens, and you will already get the communication from them to say that, okay, tier 1, maybe my I don't know, this might happen. So all the teams within the SLC, let's assume that they are like three groups in here. Okay, and then, like, I mean, these three doesn't mean there are three alliances. I mean, they are like, I'm just saying tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So this might be the case. So the tier 1 are the original, the group owners. So the ones that who kind of started this whole thing. They don't want to, they are the ones who who had this inception of ideas. So they'll be the tier one, right? And also these are the ones. These are the ones who also are the biggest, like 300 billion or 200 billion powerhouses. So they are massive. I mean, you can't even think about just being against them. You just forget about it if you are small. So these are the tier one people. So these are the original ones. So let me put that as T1, and these are the T2, and these are the T3. Maybe these are all speculation again. So this is how it will work. So this is an idea that I'm giving you. If you haven't joined one of these are the plus point that you should think about joining them, right? So, and T2 are the mid sized alliances. When I say mid sized, about more than 100 but not as big as 200, 250. So they would actually fall anywhere between, say, even 70 billion would fall into this. So these are the small group of people who would actually have uh, decent sized amount of players, like 5B players, 4 billion players, and a bunch of 500 mil, less than 1 billion players. So these are the mid level players. And then the last tier would be the ones that are smaller groups. So when I say smaller, in real life, when you're within the one region, they are not small. I mean, I'm talking about 50 billion, 52 billion, or 40 billion. So I'm not sure what is the lowest that they went for each of the groups. I'm pretty sure they will have the minimum requirements to join. So, say for example, if you have a 9 billion line, don't even think they would. I don't know whether they would be willing to take you. Again, I think you can contact one of them and maybe they might take. So I don't know, but again, taking a smaller alliances is a liability for them. So I feel like it's not really their cup of tea when anything goes below 40, in my opinion, or 50. So these are the smallest group of people, 40, 50, 60, somewhere there. So the way they would actually act is, say, if you're in here, small and mid, you would still be confused which region to go. R1, R2, R3. And then if you go in a wrong region by yourself, you are screwed, right? I mean, you will get attacked by a lot of people. So what's going to happen is, if you join one of these, the bigger original, the inception people would actually think through about this and say, hey, okay, you know what? We have 20 mid-level alliances with the power of 400 billion. So we should put them, half of them in set region 2, half of them in another half in the region 3, and so on and so forth. So what they would actually do is, say, the original team members will choose the regions where they could actually move around and fight, and then the mid-level and mid-level players would actually help them to clear resources and send them resources, and the smaller alliances would be the ones who would stay in the same place and give them the intel. So something on those lines. So this is just a speculation, just came to my mind, but this could really happen. So so if you are really in a mid or smaller group of alliances, you should definitely think of joining one of these, so that you get all the knowledge, you get all the support, and so on and so forth. And I also heard there are some third front that's happening right now. So these are the people who are not part of RW or SLC. But I would say just be careful in joining these people, because uh, there are pros and cons there. Because if they are not friendly with SLC or RW, these two will actually come and hit you. So you will have some support, but they'll come and hit you, so which is not good. And also, being a threat for two bigger groups is not cool. And the second scenario is, if the third front is friendly with both SLC and RW, this is also not cool, right? So this is like, you kind of want to escape and then stay in a place and then farm. I mean, why don't we? If you don't like wars, or you just want to farm, I think this would be good for you. But if you like to participate in these wars and stuff, this front is not good. They will forget how to fight, because they always want to put the diplomacy in front. So they will just go and talk to everyone, being friendly, blah blah blah. So the third front might not be good idea if you like to be a warmonger, or at least you want to enjoy the part of the game. So but if you think that's what you want to be friendly, you want to be peaceful, have a look at the third front. If they have any, just try to join them. And these people might take the smallest of alliances. So there is a big chance for you to be part of a group, but even if you are small, but not the first two bigger groups. So that's the plus point about the third front. So you'll be part of it, but I seriously doubt if they would actually help you in terms of defending, because I've seen people who are part of this kind of group where they don't war. They will be your ally, but when the war comes, they would just say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't think I'll have to do this." So just make sure that when you are joining this front, make sure what are the agreements. If there is a war, who will decide? If there is something, that how would it work? Just have those conversations so that you can then join the third front. So that's I wanted to kind of share what are the plus points when you join the two bigger groups. If you are a decent size, mid or smaller that I just mentioned, start reaching out to any one of these SLC or RW. Please do that and then join them. Or if you think you don't fit in here, you want the third front, I don't have details about it, but if you just go around and just get some information and try to join one of these groups and try not to be alone by yourself, which will be really not cool, right? Okay, so now let's think about how the um, how do I put it? So let's see how the alliance war would actually work, right? So um, these two are the bigger alliances, as you know. So SLC and RW. So when they start to have wars in three different regions, and it's very hard for them to even support the mid and smaller categories. So, for example, if you're a mid, excuse me, or a mid or a smaller level player, and then you expect the original ones to help. Oh my God, my spelling is really going crazy in here. So the original ones, if you expect the original ones to come and help you too, I don't think it will happen. I'm not saying they are selfish or anything, but the war is going to be so intense between these two originals, where the multi-billionaires would actually fight against each other. They would not have time to look into, say, for example, in here, this guy, one of this guy is trying to bully, say, not bully, I would say, the wrong usage of word, trying to hit one of the smaller guy here. So if that happens, which is part of the war, because now they're going to fight against each other, so it's high possibility that this small guy would actually, the mid guy would hit the smaller guy, which would be like kind of bullying, but it's not, it's war. So you cannot expect as a smaller guy to go up to the SLC original guys and say, "Hey guys, I'm getting hit, can you go and take care of them?" They might do that, but in reality they would have a bigger war in their hands to fight these guys. They might not really have time to help you, but they would kind of give you resources, or sending one or two players, bigger players, to your alliance to make sure that you are on par with this guy, and then the war is fair. So you will get help, but I don't think they will actually come down to the level where to protect the whole alliance or stuff. They will do whatever they could. We have seen this in our own regions where we have family alliances, right? So you'll have one big alliances, and we'll have three smaller alliances who are part of the bigger alliance. And if the smaller alliances get attacked, and the bigger alliances will not have time, because they'll also be fighting another war. So they will actually send some players, or they would actually trade resources. So those kind of things will happen between these three alliances. So sorry, the three groups. But I don't think this one will actually try to protect these two. So that's not a negative per se, but that's something we all know, and we should embrace that fact that we cannot go back to the original team members to help you all the time. So just getting the tag doesn't mean that you are free. The moment you take the tag, you should be ready to fight for them. You should be ready to die for them. So that's what they expect, and they would definitely help you in when you help them back. So it's not that you always try to get something from the bigger players. You try to contribute. You try to be part of the overall picture. So that's something that I wanted to kind of share. So what's next if you actually haven't decided, right? So if you really haven't decided on what you wanted to do. So there is something that you can do right now. So this I'm trying to do the coloring, it doesn't work. So anyway, so what you can actually try to do is, um, if you haven't joined one of these, and if you're uh, mid to smaller player, as I said, you can join. If you're a smaller player, try to join the third front. So that's what I would recommend. So if you're like really tiny, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be playing, but you can try to try to get into a better position. So when I say tiny, your total alliance would be less than 10 billion. Or even 5 billion. So even you have the right to play this game peacefully, and with all the big chaos, you will all be seen as farms, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say this, but that's how the war games are designed. So uh, to protect yourself and try to see if any of these smaller to mid-level alliances can take you as a training alliance or a sister alliance. Try to join them. You won't be having the SLC tag or anything, but you will have some sort of support from the mid and smaller players there, and that could actually protect you from getting robbed and raided all the time. So, or if you are still not convinced about this whole SLC and RW theory, try to consolidate quickly. You still have about a week within your region, or just reach outside your region. There might be a lot of these players who are all by themselves and they don't know what to do. Try to consolidate. Consolidation is the key. So you got to consolidate. Just try to do that. Just try to make, if you're like you have uh, 5 players active, start to take another 5 players active from another alliances, merge, get rid of all the inactive players and smaller players. And if you're very active and you don't want to spend money, and if you are really active, try to join one of these alliances, and then try to be alive. And then, as I mentioned in my last video, just do a lot of missions, lot of alliance missions. Try to collect the coins or the alliance credits to buy the shields and boosts. You would need them. So you have to go perma bubble, unfortunately, as long as you possible. So it will, in my opinion, it will take at least 2 to 3 months for the chaos to settle. When I say chaos to settle, they'll still be fighting between these two. So that's not going to stop, because this is a big rivalry. So these two will be fighting all the time. So and then slowly the mid and smaller level players, they'll start to have their own rivalries. But I really hope that these two rivalries will stay, and then one of them would actually win or lose, because that's all the game is designed for. You will have a winner at the end of the day. So when that happens, then there'll be a reconsolidation. Then you'll have a lot of options open up. So till that time, consolidate. Okay, and then as much as you can bubble. Okay, so that's my take. So I haven't still decided on anything. So but I'll be doing a lot of videos, and I really like to keep myself neutral, and I would like to support everybody playing the game, to make videos and keep you guys engaged. And I really hope that I don't get zeroed. To be honest, I'm a 5 point something billion player, but I'm still feeling nervous about all this, because as you see that the hits are like so strong. For me, it'll just take them like 4 or 5 hits to zero me. So um, but I really hope I can do this for longer if I keep my account. And help you all guys with a lot of tests and so on and so forth. But again, unfortunately, if push comes to shove, I need to choose one of these groups to represent myself. So I don't know yet, but I look forward to it. I'm excited as well. Sorry, one last tip for the smaller, tiny players, right? Don't jump in and go to the new region the moment they open. You have 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks. That's a lot of time in game to decide where you want to go. So if you have some farms that you are not using, use those to send to one of the regions to see how things are. I'm not saying the region will be the same as you saw 2 weeks ago. Things will change. People will move from one region to another region. The war will be intense, so they'll be keep moving between regions. But at least you get a sense of what's happening in these regions. Send some of your old accounts or small accounts or even your allies who are zeroed completely. Send them out to the regions to stay there and then get a feel of what those regions are, and then decide at the end of second week what you want to do, where you want to go, and then go. Please do not go into one of the regions straight away, and that's going to be hostile. You still have your home for the next 3 weeks after the ports are open. Maximize it. Don't jump to conclusions. So that's something that I wanted to tell to the smaller players, and please do that. Don't jump to conclusion. Don't jump the gun. Don't feel like you're pressurized to go check that out. If you want to check that out, use one of the zeroed player where he has no liability. Just go, boom, stay there and get the feel. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to talk about today. So hope you guys got something out of this. And I'm also trying my hand on some animation and editing. I wouldn't call that animation per se. It's all these pictures put together. So I just tried this comical view of what the alliance leader or general goes through. So hope you will enjoy that. And I'll be doing more of this, and keep coming back to my channel. Please view, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And thanks again for watching and all the support. And I'll speak to you guys soon.